Hello, guys. We're back. Now, we're going to be talking today about. I can't stop looking at my background. If anyone wants to know where it's from, DM me. No, message me on stream. But today we're going to be talking about who to blame when things go wrong. And, we all know, right? Everyone knows you're just supposed to blame the game, right? Obviously, the game misread my inputs. It's my opponent's fault. He keeps playing random. He's a bot, and all that. We all know. And we all know we're not supposed to do that, but we do it anyway, right? Now, there's something that I don't want to say it's hard to understand, right? But it's hard to actually put into practice. So basically, the game is always right. Period. If you think something's too strong today and it gets nerfed tomorrow, you don't say, look, I was right, it was changed. No, what happened is that you were wrong and now you're right. It's really important. This comes mostly from playing like League of Legends, right? In League of Legends, a lot of the time what happens is that things will be overtuned or undertuned, stronger one patch, weaker the next patch, and you never really know. And fighting games weren't always the patch fest that we have now. It's really important to realize that every time that so basically, you can improve yourself or you can do anything else, right? Now, the more that you improve yourself, the less you will be able to improve yourself because there'll be less room to go up. And we generally increase by like flat amounts. So like, let's say that you have 100 skill points, right? If you gain another 100 skill points, it's a 100% increase, right? But when you have 200 skill points and you gain another 100 skill points, it's a 50% increase, if that makes sense. So eventually, generally by the time that you start watching these videos or looking up anything like this, you're probably at a point where you're like 50, 60, 70, 80% in, right? And those 1% increases don't feel as good as they used to. And that's because they're not. They're 1% increases, but they're even less in the grand scheme. So, when it comes to improving yourself and blaming yourself, right? Every time that you increase yourself by 1%, you get to keep that increase forever. When you blame your opponent, your ally, the game, right? That's a lost opportunity. Because the next time that you have to deal with the gameplay, it'll be exactly the same, and you will be exactly the same, rather than being 1% better than you were before. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard me say things like this a lot of times, and I'm talking about a lot of games, but this is really important for fighting games, because in fighting games, you don't have any variants that can help you, right? You don't have any teammates that might be a little better or a little worse this time. What you have is yourself, every game, thousands of games in, thousands of hours in. You just have to keep dealing with yourself. So it's really important that you blame yourself. And you don't have to blame yourself necessarily. What you have to do is improve yourself, right? Blaming yourself is one thing. Maybe you want to blame the game because you can't cope any other way, right? But you have to improve yourself. Yeah, the game sucks, but that's the world we live in. And like this happens a lot with other things, right? Don't want to talk too much about stuff that's not game related, but like, think about like race, right? Or anything else that's wrong with the world, right? We see something wrong and we're like, well, there's something wrong. You know what, man? Let's just play our best that we can around it. And that's what you should do, especially in video games, right? Most of the time, I'm going to say this a lot over the series, but most of the time, what really determines a good player from a bad player is how well they can do when they're at a disadvantage, right? Making the most out of bad situations is what makes a good player. Anyway, I guess the takeaway from this is, every time something goes wrong, try and think of what you could have done better. And obviously, in later episodes, we'll be talking about things that you can do better, right? Ways to identify how to do things better. But until then, see you guys soon.